wonder if it was easier back then to get a loan than it is
Oh,
today.
God, no. Absolutely not.
Really?
Oh, no. No. Now is like, there are so many 20-year-olds buying houses, and it's amazing. I think even the pandemic made it easier of online applications.
Got You Covered, a true real estate podcast. We are an office of realtors that managed to learn from the best with the worst teaching techniques. However, we survived with stories and lessons to tell. The goal is to help skip the pitfalls while enjoying the laughs and lessons learned. So no matter the real estate woe, we got you covered.
Hey there. So today is like a gloomy, lovely, rainy day, and it's Virginia Ann Prazak, and I'm here today with co-host Kristi Crane.
Hello.
So today we're kind of talking about buyers, and then I managed to stumble across, because this building that we're in has so much stuff stocked in it.
Lots of treasures.
We were already going to talk about buyers and like some of the information you've got to know that it's not being nosy, and, you know, in buying, like what your realtor needs to know and what we need to know to be able to get the job done. And then we found this gem in the halls of Rathgelly Realtors. So in the drawer is this handy buyer prospect and qualification guide. And so it's funny that like things from the 70s, like this even says copyrighted in 1979, that a lot of this information just across the board still applies. Like I was saying, some things don't apply anymore. And so even in preparing for this, I started reminiscing. And I was saying that, you know, you used to like with movies, there wasn't Wikipedia. So when you were kind of like, have you seen Fargo lately, the new series?
No.
Okay, well, so it's awesome. But anyway, so Billy Bob Thornton, like I was super into Billy Bob Thornton in high school or whatever. And then when you didn't have Google, to prove that I was into him, it's
You
like
could name the movies.
when you went to Blockbuster, you would go look and like see. God, I'm aging myself. But anyway, when you were at Blockbuster, you would go look, and if the title said like Billy Bob Thornton, then I wanted to see it. And he was in some random movies back then. Like,
I could just think of Bad Santa Claus.
oh yeah, I loved that one too. And like, oh, I forgot about that one. Yeah, and Sling Blade, which was like so weird, so weird.
Yes.
But at the same token, when you could like list off, or Kirsten Dunst, I was super into her.
You knew everything.
Yeah, and you could talk about it. But now, like, there's no need for that. So, not to go down a rabbit hole, but it is weird to me that now it's like my mind doesn't even keep that information because it's like, what's
You
the
have
need?
it in your hand.
Yeah, and then there's no like badge of honor that I know. Oh, Stanley Kubrick. Yeah, like to know and have seen Eyes Wide Shut, Clockwork Orange, like.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like you could list
That's a
that
freaky
and like
movie.
that showed dedication, but again now, like what's it matter? But anyway, with real estate that applied, because it's kind of like some of this is not applicable at all and it's just funny. And it's very
Nowadays.
cute. Yeah.
But then it seems like they had to get this information in order to do their job.
Oh yeah. And in
'Cause
like
we don't ask some of this
the
stuff.
old school MLS books that we have is also hilarious on directions. And being in Texarkana, I was kind of used to like turn by the McDonald's or you could do this. But then when you lived in Austin, you cannot do that. There are so many McDonald's. So
No.
I don't know.
You've been
I
here.
wouldn't be able to sell real estate in this time because I couldn't get to any of the streets. Like, I guess people would have to meet at the office, which is super important. Like, this was a great location because you could be like, it's right off the interstate.
Yeah.
That for people to first find your office, for then you to, like, follow each other, get in the car, and go show them the houses. But if I was like, oh, it's on go turn right at that light and then to the other one. Like now you're just like, put it in your GPS.
No MapQuest.
Yeah.
Or you had to print it off.
Yeah. Like I would never get to houses.
Or you had to get out a map and look at where you were going. And
yeah, and there's still to this day, like somebody will call and I don't know, ask an address and
what's that
I'm
by?
like,
I don't know.
MC what? Okay, yeah. Like now
Plug
I
it
know
in.
the Miller County and the codes and stuff, but before I'd be like, is it in Texas or Arkansas, like in Airhead when I first moved here. But so needless to say that
Let's go down the sheet.
yeah, I think we should. So I like that it gives to like how to have a conversation. I was fascinated that
How to
Keller
start it out.
Williams and you were Keller
They're
Williams.
big on
based.
that still.
Yeah, they love the scripts
Yes.
that.
We'd role play.
Oh, okay. So
Yes.
here, I'll be a buyer. Go. Hey, ma'am, I want to buy a house.
This one does not start out like that. My name is blank. What is your name?
Okay.
Please.
I'm Virginia Ann.
What?
You next say, if I may have your address.
Oh, if I may have your address, I can mail you.
Oh, it just says ... What are you going to mail me? Okay, but yes, you can totally, yes. Okay, I live on Mapleview.
Okay.
Now you have to
I'm writing it
ask.
down.
Okay, and then, oh, so this one, yeah, this is useless. But anyway, what size home do you need? Ask me that.
What size home do you need?
A good size.
How many bedrooms?
Oh, okay, yeah.
How many baths? Which we still do that today.
Oh, yeah.
Square footage.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people know what kind of square footage they want to.
Oh, see, I didn't know that for forever. Like, that to
Yeah.
me was like a, what? That Dad could, like, walk in a house and
I can
say.
kind of guess.
Yeah, I'm better at it now.
Only because I compare them to mine and I know what mine is.
Yeah. That,
Price range.
yeah, which is a good one.
Down payment possible.
Okay. Yeah. And now, like, everybody, a lot of people think it's 20% and it's only 5.
I,
Or 3.5 even for
so
FHA.
they could mention schools, churches,
Special requirements. So, like, then, because,
Huh.
again, this was,
1979
Yeah.
or earlier. Number in family. So you really got some information.
yeah.
Ages of the kids. Didn't leave very many blanks, so my family would not be fitting on this.
Oh, gosh, no. Yeah. No. I mean, I think, like, all of this I couldn't write in. Like, I get so much information.
Do not
I feel
try-
like it's like speed dating that I'm kind of, how many kids, like, what school are they at? Do you need a certain school? Are you wanting Texas, Arkansas, or this?
We still do that then, kind of, in a way.
Yeah, I think for me it's just natural, though. That's why the
Mm-hmm.
scripting has always felt weird to me, because
Feels awkward.
in practicing a script, because I just want to have a fluid conversation.
Yeah.
And my goal is to get to know you so then I can help guide you.
And I feel like they would notice that you're reading off a script because you talk different whenever you're reading something.
yeah, that's why I was like, role play. Like, how do you do that? Like, that to me seems like you're teaching someone to just, like, I don't know. But again, but at the same, I see where scripts are useful in all of this, because
It
this
does.
is all the information that you really do need
Yeah.
to sell someone a house. Like, you need to know, and for a buyer, you need to think of how much space you need. Do you work from home? Do you need a home office? And then, budget.
Yes.
And-
really get to know what they're looking for.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're going to be searching forever.
Yeah. Because you got to narrow it down. I mean,
Yes. And that's why they talk to us, to help them with that.
yeah.
And I like how it says, do not try to sell over the phone. Make an appointment at his house.
Well, I
Or at
like, too,
his
like,
home.
back then when you knew you wanted a white kitchen or whatnot, like, you would have to see the inventory and your realtor, like, knew. Versus now, we're again spoiled where you can go on Zillow and have weeded out through so many properties. Like, in the
Yes.
beginning, we were the weed out,
Yeah.
is that we helped with that. But now we're more of the party planner.
Pictures are deceiving.
Well, yeah, I mean, we can help with that. And we know the history and
Yes.
like all kinds of things about. That's the advantage of being in a smaller town, that you also know if,
The house doesn't look like that.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I've been in it.
exactly. And you're like, the picture can't give you the smell. Like, but,
Yeah.
it's like, why is that one on sale for so much? Because they had probably 12 animals in it and never picked up after them, and then they put down new floor. But the carpet pad is the same, and it is urine. A little bit of, yeah. But regardless. But I like to, okay, so I've always thought that Dad was like the nosiest little thing ever, because he would always, he would ask, how much money do you get? How much are you getting in child support? How much are you, what do you make? What do you?
Oh, yeah, I saw
And
that on
like,
the back.
so that was what was really fascinating to me on this. I do not ask those questions.
No, we don't need to know
Like,
those questions.
So even though I'm from here, I'm also grew up in Alabama, and so I've always been between the two. And so Alabama was very like, don't talk about money. We don't talk about money. Like, that's not a thing. And so it's confusing to me, versus real estate is a lot of talking about money. It's a lot of seeing where those dollars can stretch, and having a comfort level of, especially working with like investors and stuff. The numbers are what are so important, that you got to talk about money. But with Dad too, it never seemed, or maybe not embarrassing, but when he was asking those things, it was like this, there was a rhythm. And so it wasn't judgy. It was a different way that he talked about it. And so then seeing this, that it was like, what's your monthly income? What is income for qualifying? And so what that's kind of asking is like the child support on some income doesn't count. So what is the, annual income, monthly? Do you qualify for FHA? VA is on here. List your financial obligations. So he would be like, do you have cars? Do you have boats, trucks? Like, what notes do you have? What mortgages do you have? Have you filed bankruptcy? All of that was such a rhythmic, like, just instilled question, that it was weird to me that people would just be answering it. Because I was like, I thought you're not supposed to talk about that. But at the same, that's why I do now lenders. That for
Well,
me,
and I think it makes them comfortable, because a lot of times we do help our friends,
yeah,
and they don't really want us in their finances,
right,
which I understand.
yeah. And that's what I like too, is that we do have that division now, that we
Yes.
don't have to be so intrusive, because that
Wouldn't
is
wanna
still
share this.
oddly personal to me, even
Yeah.
though I think that's just the Alabama in me, because then the investor side of me is like, yeah, let's get to the numbers. Like, it's got to make sense in the math. That doesn't make
Right.
financial sense. So it's funny that the job has like such a weird conundrum there. But I do always tell buyers, think of it as rent. Like, at the end of the day, I always want to think as my payment like rent, is that I want it bundled up. And I tell lenders, like, I'm like, I don't care what you're approved for. I don't think that's how you should be shopping.
No.
Is that if your rent's $1,500 a month, like, and you want to stay near $1,500 a month, they can approve you for whatever, but what gets you to that? Now, like, there are different ways of putting a certain amount of money down.
Right.
Like, there's all kinds of different options. And so I like that the lenders can play with that. And I like that I have enough knowledge to be able to help with those things too, because it does, we are invested in helping them in what makes financial sense as well. So I do think we have to be knowledgeable of finances
Right.
and ask some of the uncomfortable questions, But that's where you have to do it in a fluid way of where you trust your realtor. Is that so you could be honest, like, oh, on my car I'm getting 8%, but I love this. Okay, well, let's like try to see if we could bundle in this and,
Yes.
let's get that paid off, because this is actually the house we could get you at, when times were great, at 4%. So you shouldn't be putting so much more down on the house. That if you get that payment paid off, then you're at $1,500 a month
Right.
here. So a lot of it is moving around money. But luckily too, I work with lenders that do those conversations for me. So I don't have to, that I'm
We
confident
appreciate you all.
that, yes, that they are always thinking of the clients and playing with the
Numbers.
math and the numbers,
Yeah.
because it's thousands of dollars in savings. Like, I'm always like, listen, buyers, a certain percentage can make a huge difference in a 30-year mortgage. Like, it's not going to make a huge difference if you realize, I'm buying this house, I'm going to live here 2 years, then I'm going to sell it. Like, I basically want to buy a house so I can be rent-free. In 2 years, I'm going to sell it. I'll make my money back, move on down the road. Great. Like, then it's not as important. But if your interest rate is for 30 years and you get, a point difference,
Yeah.
that's a lot of money. And be sure it's not just, origination fees and like these hidden
Crazy
costs.
fees, yes.
Is that you're not paying for that. But
I do like how they also tracked their lead source.
oh
Even
yeah,
in
that like
1979.
like where
Where did the call come from?
was it an ad?
Yeah.
Was it a sign call?
A call-in, a walk-in,
An open house?
other newspaper?
Newspaper. Oh yeah, we love the newspaper.
There's no internet.
Yeah, no, it didn't exist.
Hmm.
There's no Zillow. Was it a Zillow call? Did it come from? And it doesn't say referral.
Maybe
No,
they
I would
didn't
have
refer
thought.
back
Yeah,
then.
I would have thought in the '70s that you had like past client or.
I bet all these say home phone. No, it says phone.
Oh, that would have been cute. Well,
'Cause I know
there
they
wasn't
didn't have
cell
cell
phones, so
phones.
you didn't have a home cell or
Oh,
mobile.
They just had phone.
Yeah, they just had the phone. Yeah.
I remember seeing the ads.
Now it would say email.
Home phone.
Email address would be on here. Oh, and
Yeah,
by the
'cause they
time we
didn't
have
have the-
kids, it'll just say QR code. Like, what is your
Yeah.
label? What is your said
Just scan
scan
it.
to wrist? Bus.
You can pull up everything, their income,
Yeah.
what they want.
All the
It's all just
things.
going to be a QR.
Yeah.
No.
But I do think, like, if you're buying a house, always go into the lender first. Like, I think it's cute that what
I mean, they
is
did get
on
the
the
information.
back is actually what is essential. I mean, they're both essential, but we do now the back before the front in the sense of,
Well, sometimes. 'Cause
well,
if
not
they call
totally, but I
in,
mean, yeah, in the sense of
but
lenders.
we just don't do that.
Yeah, we don't do it, but the lenders, because we're in such a weird hub, it always makes sense to talk to a lender.
I wonder if it was easier back then to get a loan than it is
Oh,
today.
God, no. Absolutely not.
Really?
Oh, no. No. Now is like, there are so many 20-year-olds buying houses, and it's amazing. I think even the pandemic made it easier of online applications. Because before, in the 70s, like, you were going to the bank and asking them for money.
Yeah, so you probably
Like-
had to prove more than you do today.
I mean, you were going to put on your nicest dress to go into a formal wood mahogany. I mean,
I make $500,000.
I just
year.
think that would be so intimidating that I wouldn't be
I
a
wouldn't know.
homeowner. I mean, I really wouldn't. I don't like to ask for things that I had to have the push.
You'd be like sweating in there.
Oh, yeah. I don't know why, but I would just be like, I promise I'll pay back. I mean,
I'm good for the money.
yeah,
I have no proof.
none, but
You can't pull credit.
yeah, I'm off the grid, but I would just hate that whole experience. That I don't like it now. I actually, for a client, went to the bank a week ago and stopped by there because I think that they had a different loan structure, and I just wanted to go in and show, like, the banker that this is a good house. It's a good investment.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of purchasing it myself because I think that in in-house loans, it is still a little bit like
The old
older.
days.
Yeah. And so I think it means something to handshake and everything. But I mean, I felt underdressed. I was sweating, but I wasn't. It wasn't even a loan for me.
Right.
I wanted the bank to feel assured that, like, they're lending money for the home, and if they're getting 20% down, I was like, listen, they could foreclose next month, and this is an easy sell. You're gonna make money, but
Right. Hopefully they don't foreclose.
right,
But you'll
right.
get your money.
But
either way.
exactly, but you're still kind of having to, like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It reminded me of, and I guess that's too why I went, because I was a kid, and so growing up with Dad, like, I've been in the car when we had to stop by the bank, and then before you know it, like, he would have Travis Malden in the car to take the banker to the house to show him that this was such a great investment for the bank, that the bank needed this house. So really doesn't matter if this guy forecloses, because then you and your wife could live here. Like, so I guess because I grew up with that too.
That would be cool.
Dad, like, taking the banker to be like, no, this is it. But I understand that, because sometimes, like, life situations happen, but we have tenants where we know that they, like, pay and it's a priority and they care.
Yeah.
And maybe they had some medical bills, but, like, we know that person and we know they're good for it.
Yeah.
And so the old way is where we need to go with them to vouch for them and use the old way. But but I feel like when we have to do that, it's intimidating. So
Yes.
now you don't have to do that. You can get online and click, and
Yeah.
you're, like, approved, and it's amazing.
I didn't even go in the bank.
Oh, yeah. Now
I did all mine over the phone.
Yeah,
and
the
through
last one
email.
I just bought. Yeah, and
And it was wonderful.
I think the girl was in Louisiana. She was amazing. I don't
Mine
know
was
why.
here.
But
They were wonderful.
the bank was local, but because mine was
Oh, yours
mine was the
yeah.
FHA where I purchased from the,
Yes.
yeah, I
What is it
assumed
called?
her loan.
Yes.
So, I don't know. It was Mississippi or Louisiana, and that girl was sweet, but it was so much easier. I didn't have the wood paneling feel, the sweating, like, please give me the money. But I was a little bit of like, what do I need to do to get this house? Like, what paperwork do you need?
I do
What?
remember that.
I mean, it is stressful. And 3 days before, they want, like, all these other things, and clients are always panicking.
I'm shocked they didn't ask for your blood.
Yeah, I thought they were going to, but I would have given it. I really
You
wanted
wanted that
the
house. And you're in it.
And I wanted the interest rate. I was like, come on, I want to assume this loan. But yeah,
But I was big on, I want to know what my payment is a month.
buyers have it easy now.
what to look
And that's
for.
why I think so many of the 20-year-olds are buying, and it's awesome. I mean, I think that's great. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that it's easier and it's not such a scary process, because I think home ownership's amazing. I think
I was 30 before I bought my first house.
I really, like, yeah, I would have thought that Dad would have had me buy one in college, but then I went to 7 undergrads and 2 law schools, so that would have been a bad investment. Because I didn't stay in a town that long to really
Didn't you
have
already
one.
have one, though, that he may have just purchased for you?
No?
And I mean, was still paying a mortgage, but he was renting it out?
Oh, yeah. But I mean,
So
like,
you still had property.
but I mean that
To live in.
So I had a client a few years ago that her son was playing baseball here.
Yeah.
So she bought the house here for the son and the roommates to rent, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
she sold it when, like,
And we still see a lot of that.
yeah. So, I mean, essentially, you're not paying rent for 4 years because her investment did even better, and you make money off it. So, but I didn't stay in the same college for 4 years, so it would have been a bad investment for Dad. But yeah, or me. But other 20-year-olds that aren't going to numerous law schools, and it was fun.
Living it up.
I mean, I was very studious, but I just a long story. It's a good one, but yeah.
Another time, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. Really, from the buyers, you want the lender on the side of what bracket of, like, the monthly, like what monthly you want.
What can you spend
And then
monthly?
even with a monthly number, that gives me an idea, but they'll still have ways to move and finagle car payments and this and that. So, and we're in Texas, Arkansas, the taxes are so different that gives us kind of, it just narrows it in for us. So you're not looking everywhere and kind of have too many options and no options because you're looking at apples and oranges and just can't compare.
Right.
Is that the lender kind of helps you be like, okay, you're looking for an apple, or you really want an orange. Cool. Well, once we know that, then I can be like, this is the best apple for you. Like, this meets your lifestyle. These are, and there's a lot of things that we see where we've seen clients, like, one even laughs she went from the cutest little house to a huge one. And I said, like, you really want that utility bill? You really want that much house to clean? It just was such a massive jump. And then, yeah, I sold that house for a few years later because they were like, it is so much to clean. Do you know how much the utility bill was? I was like,
Yeah.
I got a copy of that and showed you before,
Yeah.
but, you
No,
know.
thank you. That's why I'm still in mine.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Yeah, I like a one story, but I don't know. I think when I want to send the girls up to, right now I'm just such a clinger that.
Yeah, that'll end. I'm just kidding. I don't think it would.
That'll end. Then you'll want them to have their own
I still
wing.
cling to my
Oh,
soon-to-be
and I guess because
22-year-old.
Home Alone, I did love Pine in that 2-story, and I loved hearing the little feet above your head.
That was a great house.
Yeah.
Get to know your buyers.
I will say, Texarkana too, we had where Arkansas, Texas, like the difference in child support was different, that Rocket Mortgage didn't catch that, and anyway, the house fell through, and so local lenders are used to the jargon for our states.
Yeah.
And Louisiana is Napoleonic.
And they know the title
So-
companies here.
Yeah. So that does make life easier, so,
We got a lot of good lenders here in town.
yeah. So are you going to do your script? Am I going to call in?
Yeah.
Not this script.
Oh.
What was the Keller Williams, if a buyer called?
I wish if I had more time. I'm telling
We'll
you,
have
I
to
could
save
find
that
you
for an
something good.
episode where I have a cute Santa phone. I'll bring that
I
one.
used to have like a notebook of them.
Of scripts?
Yes.
Like your notebook of where you have all your holly jolly, like,
My wonderful
notice
sayings.
Kristi's descriptions on homes. They will be seasonal descriptions.
Gobble this one up.
Yeah. Like,
Oh, Christmas is here.
fall in love with this ho home.
We'll save that for the next episode. Tips from Kristi.
Yeah.
On verbiage.
On verbiage. Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for being here today.
I enjoyed it and can't
Always.
wait.
All right.
Bye.
That's it, and that's all.
Thanks for joining us. If you're interested in more content like this, make sure to follow us online. We got you covered. Hosted by Raffaele Realtors. Produced by McLean Media. Music by Jody Crump at Studio C.
Thanks for listening to Got You Covered, a true real estate podcast.